Hey guys, what is up? My name is Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the third installment of the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. Today we're going to be doing, as you can tell by the title, this is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. So this one's color story is a bunch of oranges, browns, golds, and this one green. And if you watched my previous video on the Dark Magic palette, you would know how I felt about the green in that palette. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below or in the eye somewhere for you guys to watch. But that green I wasn't a big fan of, so I'm excited to play with this one and see how it wears on my face. So this palette retails for $15 and $49 in the whole Vault collection, so you are getting a little bit of a discount. Like I said before, I don't know if they're going to be continuing to sell it in the Vault collection. The bundle, I know they're discontinuing it after they sell out of what they already have in stock, so you're gonna have to buy them individually, so it'll be $15. This palette comes with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mattes and 4 shimmers. I don't know what kind of look I'm gonna be doing as per usual, but as we go along, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all of these for you right now. So this one is VIP. Ooh, it's frosty. Access, Guilt Trip, and Coin. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Agent, Top Secret. That one swatched a lot better than the other green in the Dark Magic palette. Smooth Criminal. That one is hatchy, what the hell. And Secure. What? And then we have Prowl. And then Classified. Okay, Classified. Classified looks horrible. I can tell that these two, or actually these 4 at the end, just aren't like, wow. But as we learned in the previous video I did with Dark Magic, sometimes patchy swatches aren't really a good indication of how they perform on the eye, so we'll have to dive into the tutorial to find out how they perform. I'm going to try to use as many of these shadows as possible. 10 shadows overall, 6 mattes, 4 shimmers, and let's do this. Okay, as per usual, I've already primed my eyelids with the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm gonna zoom you guys in real quick, and we're just gonna get started with this tutorial. What do I want to do? You know, I'm just gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna take Prowl on a Morphe E36 brush, and I'm just gonna put this in the crease. Okay, this is the same thing that happened before with the Dark Magic palette. I swatched it. It was super patchy, and as soon as I put it on my eye, it performed fine. So this one is looking pretty pigmented. Now I'm gonna take the shade Smooth Criminal on a Morphe CC-E05 brush, just like a flat blending brush, and I'm just going to blow that out. And this shadow is performing pretty well. Just like a typical warm brown shade. Now I'm gonna take a Sigma tapered blending brush. This is the E35, and I'm gonna go in with Secure and just blend all that out. I don't know if I like the brush for this. I'm gonna go in with my BH blending brush, because this one's a little bit softer. Oh yeah, this one's a lot better. I know I'm taking away the darkness of the shadows I just laid down, but we're going to go back in with those later. Okay, I'm actually also gonna go in with Agent and do the same thing. And now I'm going to go in with Access. Just kind of blend that over top. Okay, now we're going to go back in with Smooth Criminal, and I'm just going to blend it out a little bit more and make it seem more cohesive. I do have to say that Secure and Agent are very, very similar colors right here. And the shade Access, I put it over top to blend everything out. And honestly, it's showing up a little bit, but not in the way I had hoped. It's not that pigmented in my opinion. Like, I'm sure if I use it on my eyes without the dark shadows on top, it might show up, but we shall see. Because right now I just don't see it happening. Also, yellows are really hard to do, so I don't know if it's just they didn't formulate a good one, or if it's just because my shadows already on my eyes are too dark and you can't see the yellow. Either or, I will test it out a little bit more and let you guys know in the description box like I always do. I'm gonna go back in with Prowl on the same Morphe E36 brush. Just deepen that out a little bit. I do have to say the fallout with this palette is a lot more than the other ones. If you guys can see, there's fallout, especially with Access and Smooth Criminal, and Agent was really powdery as well. I'm actually going to cut the crease and I will be right back. Okay, so my crease is cut right now and I'm picking a shimmer shade to put on my lid. I know this is really similar to the look that I did the other day, but whatever, you know? And I'm actually swatching Guilt Trip, Coin, and Classified right here. And look at Guilt Trip and Coin. So those two are really pigmented. And then now look at when I swatch Classified. And I'm like digging it in there. And there's like barely anything. I had to dig like really hard on that finger. And look at when I swatch. What is that? So I want to apply Classified on the lid and see if it looks like anything. Because this feels like very different than the other shadows. And it just doesn't look like it's giving a lot of color payoff. Like look, it's like barely anything, but look if I do Guilt Trip. Like ba-boom. Guilt Trip and Coin feel a lot more, not powdery, but a lot softer. I feel like this Classified shade is very, very densely packed and they pressed it a lot harder to the point where you can't even use it that much, if that makes sense. So I'm just gonna go in with Guilt Trip the rest of the look. This shadow is amazing. Like look at that, pow pow. And I'm gonna go in with the small brush again and just put it at the top of the crease where I can't reach with my fingers. This is very similar to the other shade in the Dark Magic palette, the one that I can't remember the name, but I was doing the same thing. It was a shimmer shadow and it was just blending so nicely with the brush. I feel like the shimmer is very buttery and Classified is not. So now that that's done, I'm actually gonna go in and blend out the harsh edges of the crease with Smooth Criminal again. Okay, so that is the completed look for the top part at least. Zoom you guys in, or I'm gonna come closer. I'm gonna do my full face and then I'll be back to do the bottom part of my eyes like always. And I think I'm actually going to grab my roommate's Vault collection and try to compare the shade Classified and see if it's like that in her palette as well. So let me be right back. Also forgot to show you the fallout on my face. There's a little bit of fallout. I would say it's not as much as the Dark Magic palette. I think it's the same amount as the Bling Boss palette. There is a little bit of fallout, but as you guys know, it doesn't really bother me. I do my eyes before, and if you do your eyes after everything, I would just put on a little bit of powder like I did in the previous Dark Magic video. Okay, you guys, I am back. So my roommate actually has a vault collection herself, and I wanted to compare the two and see if they had the similar problem with the shade Classified. So here is my palette right here. I'm gonna zoom this in. And then here is the Classified shade that I had a problem with. I've been digging my finger in this, and like I said before, it does feel a little bit hard. This is what it looks like. Actually, I'm gonna do it on a clean finger. This pinky, that's what it looks like when I swatch it. And it feels not as soft as the other shadows. And this is what my roommate's palette looks like. As you can tell, like, they look very, very different in both the palettes. The top one is my roommate's, and it looks a lot more bronze, and it looks softer in this one. I haven't touched it yet. It feels a lot different. It feels way softer, way more buttery and smooth. Look at that difference. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this one is way more pigmented than this one, and my roommate's palette feels so much more buttery and soft than the one in mine, and this is very disconcerting to me. I'm actually tempted to go through all my palettes and her vault collection palettes and see if they're different in any of the shades. So stay tuned for that. So you guys saw in the beginning how my Classified shade swatched. So I just swatched it again. It's right there. And if you don't believe me, I'm like digging my finger in right now. This is my palette. Right? That's okay. That's two swatches on top of each other. This swatch is my roommate's palette. Here. Just so you guys have proof and I'm not tricking y'all. Okay, I'm barely touching that. Okay. Here's a swatch on my finger. There is a severe difference in those swatches. Morphe, what you doing? Okay, I'm getting super fall vibes from these eyes and these lips. So we're gonna finish up the rest of the face, and I'm very, very interested to compare all of the palettes that I have to my roommate's vault collection. So thumbs up this video if you want me to compare two different ones. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with Prowl on just a flat shader brush. Then I'm gonna go into Smooth Criminal. Basically just all the shades that I used to blend out the top part of my eyes. And I'm going to take the shade VIP and run that underneath the brow bone as a brow bone highlight. That is frosty and blinding. Hello. And I'm actually going to take the shade Coin on the E36 brush. And I'm actually going to put that in my inner corner just because I want to incorporate this somehow. This really reminds me of the Trophy Wife Kilowatt highlighter from Fenty Beauty. That's really pretty, and it applied very nicely with the brush. And I know I said I wanted to use the shade Top Secret in here. I just couldn't figure out a way to incorporate it. Incorporate it. But as per usual, I will try out the rest of the remaining shades I didn't use and leave it in the description box down below, so make sure to check that out. Actually, I'm too lazy to pop on lashes because it's already 6:08 and I'm losing light, and I'm gonna take this makeup off right now anyways, so I'm just gonna skip the lashes for right now. So this is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to comment down below if you want me to compare to vaults, which I think would be super interesting. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but it is actually super shady that the shade Classified is different in 2 different palettes, and this one sucks so hard. Overall thoughts on this, I really love the mattes. I used, let's see how many shades I used overall. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I actually used like 9 out of 10 shades in here. The only one I didn't use was Top Secret, and I'm really bummed about that. The mattes, like I said, blended beautifully. The only one I'm kind of a little bit iffy about is Access, just because I use that to blend out my darker shades, and I'm not sure if it showed up all that well. It showed up a little bit, but not as much as I hoped that it would, if that makes sense. I love Guilt Trip and Coin, these 2 right here. I just think they're super buttery, super pigmented, and that's the way Classified should be, and it is like that in other palettes, but this one, I just think they pressed this one too hard, maybe, and all the buttery smoothness got squeezed out of there. I don't know. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this palette. Overall, I like it. I mean, I like the Dark Magic one better, and I feel like this one is at the same level as Bling Boss. Actually, no. It's a little bit higher than Bling Boss because I did enjoy using it. It's just, man, this Classified shade is throwing me off. Like, I don't know what to think. I'm definitely gonna have to do a little bit more digging and a little bit more research. I'm going to have to look into this, and I'm excited to do so. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I will see you guys in my next video.